take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Damn, Perk did this?
I don't need no one to save me. I was born to be the greatest. All that time in that basement, all that time isn't wasted. Rapping getting faded. I just wanna tell my mom that I made it. Just wanna be the topic of the conversation. Used to rock the gold plated. Now I'm wearing gold chains like I'm famous.
What is going on, everyone? Happy Wednesday. I'm thankful that y'all are tuning in with Kings and Dreams. Listen, I got a special one for y'all. Not one, but two live streams. So this one, and then I got another one at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 7 p.m. Pacific. So, but let's start with this one first. We are going to be talking about the equality. Is modern day society, is it truly equal? Well, we're going to get into it. But first, let me introduce my guests, M3 Knowledge and Relationships. What's going on, brother?
What's up, Kings and Dreams? Good to see you, bro, and thank you for bringing me up here. I was giving the air horn to you, my brother, not for myself, but you know what I mean?
Hey, you know what? Drop it again, man. It's all love.
Hey, man, for you, bro.
Salute, man.
Mm-hmm.
Salute. Absolutely, man. So thank you for being here again, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
And you've been on my channel quite a few times, but like on different panels and things of that sort. So maybe people might not have really caught exactly who you are. So do a brief introduction of yourself and what your channel is about, brother.
For sure, man. Well, salutes to everybody that's tuned into the chat. Yo, my name is M3 from Knowledge and Relationships. Our channel is basically about relationships, but more so it's an entertainment and yet educational type of channel. We talk about a lot of things: manosphere, feminism, news and TV networks and all that. So we pretty much talk crap about every little thing, But at the end of the day, we're also like a solution-oriented based type of channel, and we want to make sure that if we're going to be talking ish, okay, we got to bring the solutions to y'all. So that's what our channel's about. With me, Mr. Best, and the rest of my team too. So shout out to everybody as well. So
absolutely, salute, man. And I'm gonna keep you right there.
Okay,
One of the things I like that you mentioned that it's a solution based channel. So don't let that just I'm not gonna let that slide under the radar, man. All right. So now what inspired you to create this channel? And it's you have like a network, as you mentioned, you, Mr. Best, and I think there's a couple of other people over there, and then shout out to the whole team. But what
I won't break it down to it. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
What made you all, or I guess I would say you, because you're the one that I guess kind of the one who actually got everyone together.
Yeah, so it started when I started my channel, Knowledge and Relationships, it wasn't even intended to do anything that was, based off of us like going live. I didn't really understand too much of the technicalities of even going live stream. But what happened was, like, when I started the channel, it was just based off of like the things that I was hearing in the red pill space. Shouts to Alpha Male Strategies that kind of pretty much gave me the whole game about the stuff. And so I didn't even know at the time what the manosphere was. At that time, I was producing content to try to help men to be better, even to like learn from my own self through other people. And so at a good point, right? I'll say, like, when I started without live streaming for a whole year. And I was just grinding, just making videos from back to back, nonstop. To the point that I was getting burnt out. I was feeling like, man, like this stuff is meaningless. Like, what am I doing in this YouTube space? And at that time, I had like at least like 100 like subscribers, within that year. But I just didn't really felt fulfilled. I didn't really think achieving like over 1,000 will even be possible, or the message that I tried to deliver will ever be heard. So, my true friends, right, that I actually know outside of YouTube, Mr. Best in the World, and DJ Eddie King. Those two guys that, who was always my ride and die, they encouraged me to actually do something like a podcast. And at first I was like, I didn't really think like a podcast would actually be meaningful, but StreamYard came along on 2020. And I started seeing like a lot of, content creators like MTR and a few other like red pillars. They was using StreamYard. So then that kind of inspired me to want to kind of get into it so I could learn. And I'm more like a kind of like a tech learner. So even though I'm not technically in the field of tech, I'm always interested in learning tech as a hobby. So once I started dabbling into like Restream, StreamYard, started doing comparisons, I just kind of like fell in love with StreamYard more because it was more simplistic. And I felt like StreamYard was eventually was going to grow to be better than what it is right now. So thanks to Mr. Best and DJ Eddie Kane for encouraging me to continue knowledge and relationships. And then that's when I was like, you know what? Like, let's just like turn this into a family-based channel. So none of the power goes to me. It goes to everyone who's on board. And eventually our brand started to grow with Easily Riggs. Shouts to the brothers, OG Patrice. Man, we have so many members on the team. Shouts to like, Lady E, Miss Nebraska, and a few other people who decide to come on board and try to create something that can actually make a difference. So these people, like I said, are super helpers, my wife, and other people who came in. Some came in, some came out. But these are the people that actually contribute to make knowledge relationships to what it is right now.
Wow. Okay. So you got a huge roster over there, man. And that's cool because like you said that you kind of just stumbled upon this space, and same way for me, I kind of just stumbled upon this space. Interestingly enough, one of my good friends, best friends, who I went to high school with, shout out to the Flyboy Way. He was already doing content, so he started doing content from YouTube's inception in 2006, and everywhere we would go, travel, whatnot, he would always have like a camera, always recording, and I used to kind of like make fun of him about it, right? And so one day, I can't remember exactly which trip it was that we were going to. I want to say, I think it was Mexico. We were going to Quintana Roo, that section of Mexico, which is like Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Tulum. It's like the east coast of Mexico. And so he would have like what's called like a pregame, and we would talk about like what we're going to be doing on the trip and things of that sort, right? So I was like, okay, yeah, like this is cool. I'll come on the panel. And so at that particular time, I wasn't even Kings and Dreams yet. I was actually just King James. And so I came on that panel to started speaking, and offline, he's like, man, you should start a YouTube channel. And I really started to think about it, and I was like, well, if I'm going to keep getting on these panels and things like that, maybe I should try it. And I kind of went through my growing pains like the first like few months, because I would put out like some videos and stuff, and I'm like, man, you do get frustrated, right? You get frustrated, but you got to stick with it. You got to stick with it. I don't want to get too long-winded on that, but I completely understand exactly where you're coming from. But before we get to some of the questions at hand, let me give a shout out to some of the people that came in the room. Tobias, the Traveler, he says we're in here. Shout out to my man Tobias. Definitely subscribe to his channel. He had a great live stream with him and Black Man's Travels. They were talking about their trips in Thailand, and they like, well, I know that Tobias has lived in Thailand so for 4 or 5 years or so, something like that. And in November, after my son's football season, I'm actually going to be going to Thailand with him, man. So salute to him. And then Black Man's Travels just came back from Thailand, so salute. XL Pro is here in the building.
Salute.
Oh, that's you right there. Get the likes up. He says rocking the blazer. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely, man. I'm up in the wardrobe game, showing y'all the wardrobe game is just different. Let's see here. Is that Amma? Amma says, hey, hey, salute, salute.
Yama.
My man tripping with Jay. We actually had a live stream. I want to say this was last week or the week before last, but tripping with Jay, that's another person subscribed to his channel. He tells people how to become a resident in Mexico. He got the game, man. He got the game. So he says, tripping in with you, KND, your content provides so much value. Folks better listen with both ears, not one. We use two. We use two.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. Big Sean TV's in the building. Yo, 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 what going on? Okay, all right. So, first question to you, in reference to the today's topic. Excuse me. So, first question to you in reference to today's topic. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on some of the biggest challenges that you have faced as a content creator? And I know you stream through multiple platforms because, as you mentioned, you have YouTube, I think Twitch, you have Facebook, you have Rumble now.
Mm-hmm. I think some I was to say like a few, right? A few of our biggest challenges is like, when we have like topics, we know our topics can be very controversial, and I feel like we're always walking on eggshells with YouTube. Now, YouTube may be a good platform. It may pay you well if you are into the monetization program. But if you're stuck like me for like pretty much down there like 6 months, you have to kind of like tread lightly. And you want to make sure like your content doesn't infringe on, community guidelines, because sometimes like, when you're working with a team, the downplay could be like the people that you bring up, your guests. Not everybody knows, YouTube's rules, and those rules can be confusing. So, YouTube expects for you to know everything, because otherwise you will get that community strike. I had my first warning not too long ago over a controversial video that pretty much was kind of viewed out of context. I would just say like that. So you want to make sure that when you're dealing with these type of platforms, especially with YouTube, you want to make sure that you stream on multiple platforms just in case. That's why I created my Rumble account for knowledge and relationships, because one day like YouTube may switch up and change their policy, and if they change the policy, everything is retroactive. So they don't just go by like, oh, okay, well, let's say if YouTube allowed cursing, okay, and they didn't treat it equal at that one point. So by them switch up their policies and now like trying like be more stricter, they'll go back into like your previous content and they'll demonetize, or they will actually strike your channel down. And that happened to a couple of content creators, to a point that YouTube had to pretty much revert back to their original policy. So you just gotta be careful, because it seems like YouTube does have its problems, but you can always stream on Rumble, Facebook, Twitch. They may not be like YouTube, but in case of anything happens, you could, the people who support you can go over to someone else's platform. So those are like, at least like a few of the challenges that I would say.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that. That's an excellent point. It's good to stream through multiple platforms. Like right now, I'm streaming through Facebook, also YouTube, and I'm gonna start streaming through Rumble as well. I gotta get on that, man. But so what, on the flip side of that, what are some of the good things?
Well, some of the good things is that like when you have like your message, and let's just say for instance, if you stick to whatever that you do that's best as a content creator, everything will flow out well. despite on like maybe the trolls or people come in and are off topic, you are in control of your own space. Now, for
Right.
me, I have a network team, so things that I'm not good at, other people are good at. As
Right.
far as bringing people together, like Mr. Best, making instrumentals like DJ Eddie King, and having intriguing like dialogue, like with Easily Riggs. So you have all these people that is contributing to the cause, and it's all volunteer services.
Hmm.
People are doing it because they actually love like the channel, and they love what they do, and they love getting their voices out there. So when you're pretty much like in a team, in a network team, everything is so much easier as opposed to you doing things by yourself.
Right. I agree with that. I agree with that. Now, I mean, I can understand doing things like it's definitely better to do that with a team, right? But like, how are you able to kind of, I guess, balance that out, because you're dealing with different people, you're dealing with different personalities, and also like you have some ladies on the team, you have some men on the team. How does that all balance each other out?
It's all about communication and synergy. If
Okay.
people are not aligned with what we do, they could come and they could go. That's it. It's as simple as that.
Right.
So you just want people to, when I mean the communication part, I guess let me elaborate for the people in chat. You want to make sure that you address like, hey, this is the reason why I chose you. This is the reason why you're here, a part of this team.
Hmm.
We see value in your creativity, but at the same time, I want to let you know that look, although we do values free speech, but there are rules and regulations because we're under someone else's platform. But at the same time, if you and I are aligned together for the
Hmm.
same purpose, then everything else is going to flow out pretty well. But
Right.
once that purpose gets shift, eventually, I mean, we're going to have to part ways. Not that I won't support you, but it just the thing is like your alignment is different from ours, and
Right.
we got to make sure that we're on one accord.
I completely agree with that, man. I completely agree with that. So I so you gave me the knowledge, if you will. Let's get into some of the relationship standpoint.
All right, let's go.
Now, you mentioned that you have transparent debates and you're really trying to find a solution, right? Now,
Mhm.
do you think that in today's society that things when it becomes with gender roles are actually equal?
With gender roles, I mean roles.
Gender
No,
roles, yes,
yeah,
correct.
yeah, roles. Um, no, not really. Like to be honest with you, ain't nothing equal.
Right.
Um, which is it's funny because everybody want to preach about equality, but then it's like when you get kind of close to it, you don't really know fully like what equality is. Is that
Hmm.
people's definition of equality is that as long as someone is serving them, then that's equality. And
I
then we have to
see.
give you reality, which actually hurts like your perception of equality. And then that's
Right.
where things could get kind of controversial because everybody have their own beliefs, but instead of just saying or agreeing to disagree, people want to choose to be right.
Mm. Right.
Yeah. So it's like how can I give this like an example? Like we'll start with the women real quick.
Sure.
Women want things in a certain type of way, which I believe like the only time equality should actually take place is when it comes to equal level of opportunity and high paying jobs. But if you're asking a man to be equated to you and you're not really willing to align with them, then how is that equality? You know
Hmm.
what I mean? You have to kind of be careful of what you guys are talking about because women will say they want equality, but would there be equality when it comes to splitting the check on a date? Would there be equality if you actually ask the girl and say, hey, why don't you ask me out on a date? Why don't you pick me up in my car? I mean, well, pick me up with your car, and then we could go to this place or whatever. When we have those type of conversations, then it's like, well, that's not the woman's role. That's not my role. It is the man's role, okay, to approach, which I do agree. And it's the man's role to, if he's inviting that woman on a date, he should pay for the date, just to be chivalrous, courtesy. But, we get into these type of arguments that's not making sense, and it's like a perpetual loop. So
I see. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything except for like her picking me up. Like, nah, man, I like to be in the driver's seat. But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. So I'm gonna play this clip, and I want to know what your thoughts are. Let me just key it up. Give me 1 minute. Let me share my screen. All right, here it is. Welcome home, Andrew Tate. All right, so let me refresh.
But let's make an important point. You're talking about equality equaling respect. The way you get respect as a woman is by being feminine. There's nothing, we can be equal and very, very different. I'm not saying that there's not equality, but you've confused equality with the same. You can be equal with completely different things. You can have a bishop and a knight on a chessboard. They're equal in terms of points, but they do different things, right? A woman can have equal respect to a man if she is very good at being a woman, and a man gets respect for being very good at being a man. When a woman decides she wants to act like a man, or a man wants to act like a woman, that's where all gets fucked up. We try to pretend it's all the same. It's not the same. Men and women are good at different things. We have different strengths, different weaknesses. There's nothing wrong with accepting that. There's nothing wrong with saying, I'm a woman, I'm good at X, he's a man, he's good at Y. Then we work together as a team, we have a beautiful family, we're happy forever. It's only confused where you have women who sit and go, no, because in the name of equality, we can fight and work. There's no fucking women on the front line in Ukraine. That is psyop bullshit. But let's make an important point. You're talking about equality.
Oh, sorry about that. All right, yeah. So what are your thoughts on what Andrew Tate just said?
Well, first of all, shout out to the Top G. I'm glad that he's out of jail, and hopefully he continues to remain his innocence. But no, he's definitely right. When it comes to this whole equality thing, it doesn't make sense when the roles are switched. Like a man cannot do a job that a woman that's good at. Sorry, a man cannot do something that a woman's good at, and a woman can do something what a man is good at. So when you have these two genders that's come together trying to remix and try to do something different, it doesn't work that way. This is why, like, when it comes to, look, because I'm gonna just be honest, men are physically stronger than women, but women has a nurturing side. Okay, they're like suitable helpers, and that's why I always refer my wife and anyone else that participates as suitable helpers, because they do have things to offer on the table mentally, and support wise. But when it comes to like the front line, like you said, like the soldiers out in the Ukraine, they're not going to pick a bunch of women to fight off a bunch of men. They're going to pick men versus men. Men are capable of doing these things that women probably might not want to do, to be honest with you. And also, like science and studies like show that men has, better perception. They're a little bit more faster as well too. So their reaction time is a lot more quicker than a woman's reaction time to certain things.
Right. So you're okay. So what you're saying is you're basically breaking down the biology, correct?
Correct. And that's what Andrew.
Yeah, no, and I know that's what Andrew Tate was trying to say, and I know that some that there's some women they get triggered by what he's saying, but the thing is that there's no logical disconnect. Now, of course, some women are gonna say, well, some women could do some things that men can do. Yes, right. I mean, but here's the thing, right? So we're not talking about like what can or what may happen. We're talking about what on a day-to-day, on a day-to-day basis, right? Like you take the best player in the WNBA, and she's probably not better. She's probably maybe put her in the NBA. She's probably like a D League player. Now that's no disrespect, but that's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have not seen a WNBA player that could do things like LeBron or KD or anything. You know what I mean? I have yet to see it. I have yet to
Correct.
see it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like with a lot of training, like a woman could be just as skillful as a man, but it's just like if you have a pro male athlete versus another a pro female athlete, most of the times the pro male athlete is going to dominate over that woman.
Right.
There was a clip that I saw, and it was from Netflix. I don't remember the name of the show, but it's like when two people kind of like fight to kind of square off, and the point was like it was a regular man, but he knew martial arts skills versus a female bodybuilder, and both of them was from like the Asian descent, so they put those two together, and of course, maybe the outcome that most people will rather see, as far as entertainment wise, you would probably rather see like the bodybuilder, female bodybuilder, dominate over the man,
right?
Maybe throw him around or whatever,
right.
But it didn't work that way. And so all that hype, all that energy that the women from Asia was having, all that died down quickly when the man showed her, "Hey man, you can't beat me,"
Right.
And he had technique, he had precision, he had reaction time and all that, and it's just what it is. So, and I'm not saying this to like knock women, because that's not even my intent. But again, I'm a straightforward person, so I'm going to just give you the reality of things.
Right. No, I mean, I completely agree with that. And this isn't like to take shots or anything like that. It's just we're just talking about what's real and what's not real, right? So I don't think anyone should be offended, man or woman. I mean, let's just go by what we see. There was last summer there was this high school, I think it was a high school soccer team, right? Yeah, there was a high school soccer team, a boys soccer team, and they played like a D1 women's college team. Smoked them. These are high school boys, smoked the college girls in soccer. Smoked them, blew them out. I meant to do some more digging and try to find it, but I got back in the house too late, and I didn't want us to start too late. But I'm just saying, it's just like you can't even fathom. Like, could you just imagine, like, let's take like a mid-tier NBA player, you put him in the WNBA, dominant. Now imagine Lisa Leslie in her prime going to the NBA. I don't know what. Listen, I think she would go to the G League. Isn't the G League worse than the D League? I think that's even worse.
Yeah, like she would definitely have a hard time. That's what I would say. Although she is a tall woman, taller than most average men, but you have a lot of men that are taller and stronger, and they know how to perform. Not to like degrade like her quality of performance, but whenever I watch like the WNBA, I don't be seeing them doing all this like and one ish type of stuff like the men be doing. It's just not entertaining.
Well, yeah, I see. I don't want to. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because that's well, you know what? Actually, let's stay there. Let's stay there because there was a conversation. There was a conversation of some like the WNBA players. They wanted to actually get paid just about as much or equal to the NBA players. And what people don't know, I believe the WNBA loses about 20, 30 million a year.
Really? Okay.
Yes. They lose money every year. So what's keeping them afloat is that the
Oh yeah.
NBA makes so much money. So the NBA makes so much money. So that's why the WNBA is being afloat. Not only that, like when I watch the WNBA, like I don't see not near where the ladies at. The ladies go to the NBA game. They don't even go to the WNBA games.
You know, let's expand on that, right? Because
hold on, but before you do, I just want to give a shout out to some other people that just hopped in the chat.
No problem.
Culture Invasion Podcast says
Salute.
greetings, all salute kings and dreams. Definitely my man the main Sweeney, subscribe to his channel, Let's Learn Spanish TV. He says, hell no, there's no true equality. Absolutely. Miss Vega is in the building. She says it's not offensive in my opinion. Let's see here. Woody Johnson, I'm offended. I'm so offended. Unbelievable. Oh, LOL. All right. Yeah. So go ahead, brother.
All right. So to expound on this topic, right? So, and I'm glad you reminded me about this because the NBA does fund to keep the WNBA afloat, which that'd probably be like a good like tax write-off like on their part.
So, I'm sure it probably is because I'm sure it probably is, but like it's my pushback is that I can't believe like that they would say that they need more money. Like, so get your homegirls in the seats.
But see, that's the thing, right? And this is going to be a good point that I'm going to address, right? Because in this topic, as far as like society tries to pressure equality, again, there's no equality when it comes to us. Okay, we have pros, we have cons, just like both men and women. The thing is, whenever like a group of women is demanding for equal pay, you have to kind of ask yourself the reality. Have you been overperforming? Have you been performing your best in your WNBA type of career? Okay. And if women really want that type of equality, then you're going to have to work together with your other fellow woman and have them come out there to support you. Okay. Don't expect the men to come out there and, clean up whatever mess that you guys are in. Okay. If you have other women, okay, that's going over to the NBA, that actually speaks some truth into that. Because although everybody went against the feminism type of movement, but you have those same type of feminists supporting these guys. Of course, for various reasons. Every woman will love like a tall guy. At least the majority of them. Okay? Especially like, when it comes to sports, you're athletic, you're in shape, you're young. Yeah, a whole bunch of women is going to be there to throw themselves at them. They're not going to come over to no WNBA, especially, for what? So I think reality hasn't really hit them yet. And I think that's the issue. Because you have those mainstream medias that will always cater to you guys, which, you ladies have an advantage over it. Because you guys are the highest consumers. So you guys could get away with these ridiculous demands, and these guys will support you and be like, "Yeah, you deserve equal pay, queen. You deserve the best that that we men have." But if anyone were to speak out and say, "Well, hey, I don't think you guys deserve equal pay because your ratings suck. Nobody doesn't really watch you guys like that." then they'll get canceled.
Right.
So
Exactly. I completely agree with that. I'm gonna share another video here, and this one is a little bit longer, so I want you to give me your thoughts. We're gonna break this down together. This is um whatever clips, and this is they want freedom without responsibility. So this one is about 12 minutes. So
okay.
and this is like a roundtable discussion. Let me just share my screen. And the audio was good. The audio was fine last time, right?
Oh, your audio? Yes, it was good. And the music too.
Okay, cool. Okay. All right. Let me get this.
We found out like even a drop dead gorgeous girl that's looks wise is way out of our league. If we know that she's promiscuous, major turn off. We, at least for me, I would not want to sleep with her
Why?
because body count matters.
Why?
Why does body count
Yeah.
matter? Well, there's a whole lot of reasons.
Okay.
I'll get to that. Did you want to come in really quick?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I have like a friend who's really, really hot, and she has a
Is
lot of boys. She's promiscuous,
promiscuous.
and I think every man who she's promiscuous with knows she's promiscuous.
Mhm.
How old is she?
19.
Well, here's the thing. Like, so me personally, I'm not interested in the one night stand. It doesn't interest me, even if it's an opportunity. Like, for example, Santa Barbara is a really touristy area. If I know a girl is just in town for the weekend and she might be down, and I've had this situation, I'm not interested. That doesn't interest me because, frankly, it's a waste of time for me. So, when it comes to casual sex, one night stands, short term things, buddies, guys are going to be more willing to tolerate a promiscuous girl because, well, easy access to sex. But for when it comes to having a relationship, when it comes to marriage, then it's much more part of the calculus, so to speak. It's much
Hold on.
more important.
Let me pause it right there. Okay. So what are your thoughts on that so far?
So again, like these people, they still want men to accept them for who they are. And I know we haven't got further ahead into this video, but so I'll try to keep on the topic. I mean, no, not a lot of men want a promiscuous woman. I mean, like, they don't mind sleeping with them, but when it comes to like a serious relationship, it's like once we know like how many bodies that's been up in a woman,
Right.
we're done. Well, I mean, look, I'll be like number one, like 105, and I'm just being
Right.
generous. Okay.
Yeah, right.
But
You said that's being generous, yeah.
But after that, I'm like, don't expect for me to want to put a ring in your finger. And I think it kind of makes sense to like why some of these women probably got into these long-term broken promised relationships, whereas like you waiting for like 5 years, some waiting for 10 years or 15 years just for a man to propose. And it's like that man has always been kind of hesitant, like, oh, what's the rush? Like, why are we in a hurry? I don't want to get married, type of thing. Maybe he knows something about your past. Maybe you said something that turned him off, or maybe he knows something about you. See, here's the thing: when men do get into these type of, I don't even call it true relationships. I think that's where we call it situationships.
Yep.
If I was to date an IG model, me with some good common sense, I will live for the moment, but I would never try to propose to an IG model. It's not worth getting married because anytime you dating a girl that's publicly showing like her body parts, okay, to the world, and that woman is not really married to you. She's married to Instagram.
She's married to the game.
Exactly. And you know, when she's married to the game, as Future will say, she belongs to the streets.
Oh man, I thought you had that sound bite, but it's okay.
You know what? I did, bro, but I would have to go all the way back. Then I would have looked down on it. I got a whole lot. So
Nah, no worries, man. No worries,
yeah.
man. But you know, you're absolutely correct. And I think that no, I don't want to say I think. I know this to be the fact because um a lot of women mistake attention for
Mhm.
intention. And they really
Mhm.
have that mistake, right? Like the one young lady, she was saying that she knows that her friend is very attractive, right? So she's gonna attract a lot of guys, and I'm sure a lot of guys are gonna want to get with her and stuff like that, right? But the thing
Mhm.
is, no guy is gonna want to take her seriously, and then what ends up happening is that she ends up racking up so much body count that when she does want to get serious, it may be too late because like she's doing this in her her early 20s and things like that, right? So
Mhm.
she may not realize until she's about 35ish or something like that, and she's trying to get the guy. But now you have the guy that's going to go back and try to get with the 21, 22, 23, 24-year old. So it's like, you've wasted all your time doing that. And because I know, and it's not fair in that aspect,
Mhm.
because the more like woman guys get, the more attractive he is. But the more guys that women get, the less attractive she is.
Mhm.
This is what I like to call the seesaw effect, right? Because like
Mm.
if this is a guy, right? And let's say that this guy on the left, he ended up, he didn't do the podcast, right? He didn't do the
Mhm.
podcast. He didn't know all of these all these women, right? But he ended up getting with every single woman, that's sitting there. Take
Mhm.
the podcast out of it. I'm just
Mhm.
saying, he ends up
Yeah.
hooking up with all of these girls, right?
Mhm.
So a girl knows that he's able to get all these different women, right? you
Yeah.
know so they're gonna be like, wow. Now let's take this same scenario and let's say that that's a woman sitting there and there's a bunch of guys around, right? And they're not at the table, but let's just say
Mhm.
this woman hooked up with all of these different guys. she's
Yeah.
not going to be she's not going to be looked at the same. And some women may say, oh, that's disgusting or whatever the case is. They say that to save face, but behind closed doors, they really attracted to that dude. Now,
Mhm.
a guy is a guy, and if he sees a woman catching all these bodies or whatever, yeah, he's gonna talk to her and be like, hey, we should hang out and blah blah blah. But the thing is, like, he's just trying to get his turn.
Mhm. Yeah, it's and the hypocrisy does come to play
Yes,
because
absolutely, I agree.
there's expectations. Like, I'm not gonna say what I think. I think in the psyche of a man, because we know how easy it could be for a woman to get multiple dudes, but then we also understand too that our value systems are different. We value virtuous women. Women, they value men who can actually take charge, dominate, and control and lead. Not saying treat them like a puppet or a slave, but they
Yeah.
love men that's assertive. So if you encounter if a like I always try to think what will women think, okay? Even though
Yep.
some of them will lie and say that I don't want a man that has multiple women in his roster or who could get multiple women. They say that at the moment because no one wants to feel like they're second place, third, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Every woman wants to feel like they're number one.
Right.
Why do you think that in every given line, okay, a woman's always going to say, well, I'm different from all the other women. I'm the best woman that you ever met. No other woman can compete to me. You always hear those type of lines, but
Yep.
more commonly, I am different from every other woman.
Right.
What they're trying to say in woman needs is that, you know, they desire to be number one in this space because it could be territorial. Now, if a woman is looking at a man, and let's say if you challenge with this question, like, okay, you don't want a man who could get a bunch of women easily.
Right.
So why would you not date a virgin? There's plenty of virgins out there. That's the con of a man. Because men we don't really get those opportunities like this, like a woman can. A woman could break up, already have some dude line up in her roster, and then she'll move on with her life.
Oh, of course. You know, I mean, monkey branching is the norm. Typically, I mean, listen, right? Before we continue, I'll just say this really quick. Typically, like, when a woman officially breaks up with you, she's already broken up with you in her mind already. So, like, she already has the next dude up, like she already has the next dude like ready.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she already has that next dude ready. All right, let's continue this.
Sure.
Okay.
So like the guys will hook up with her. And look, there are guys that don't care. But like most guys who I would say who have options, because there are some simps out there that have no options, so they'll take what they can get. But like if a guy can pick between a girl who's like more innocent and isn't promiscuous, they're gonna go for the non-promiscuous girl. I would much rather.
In your case,
Like for
In my case,
not all
in my
guys.
case, give me. I know some of you don't like the rating system, but give me a girl who's a 6, who's not promiscuous, over a girl who's a 10, who's slept with 100 guys. That's the point I was kind of trying to arrive at. Is a girl who's like insanely good looking, a 10, if I know for a fact that she's promiscuous, I lose attraction.
yeah,
I'm not into
promiscuity
it.
is not it for you.
I'm not in.
Yeah. So I'll go first on this one. I completely agree with that. I'm all for like going down on looks for better cooperation. I mean, there's like I come from doing events and parties and stuff like that. Like I've seen so many women that's like, you know, 8, 9s, and 10s, and they are gorgeous, all races, all ethnic, all that stuff, right? And I'm not gonna say all, but usually those type of women, typically those are like super monkey branches. Like 1 week, you'll see them hanging out with this guy, you know, for about a month or whatever. Then they with the next guy and the next guy and the next guy and the next guy. And it's like, hey, such and such, you know, oh, I thought you was talking to such and such. Oh, no, I stopped messing with him a few months ago, whatever, you know, this is my new guy, such and such. I'm telling you, I've seen it all the time. And not just like with me throwing events and stuff like that, but just me being able to network with different people. Like I see it a lot, like especially the more attractive woman, like the more attractive she is, like I'm telling you, like the more you gotta really have your antennas up. Go ahead, M3.
Yeah, man. Like, here's the thing. All right.
Uh-oh.
And this is
Backpack Grizzlies in the building. Salute.
Salute to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, this is gonna be for all my simps out here, okay? It's a dangerous game, all right, when dealing with these dime pieces. You're gonna have to see this is why these dime pieces, they're really built hardwired for, you know, the 5% or the 2% man. Okay, they're not built for regular people or people that they look at that is below them. Okay, so when you're looking, and I'm not deterring anyone for going after attractive women, but it's like if you're gonna go after with someone that's attractive, just know that you really gonna have to be on your A game. Just like you said, you have your antennas up. You have to be the type of man that you're so secure with yourself that if you do the slightest thing that's wrong and she want to leave you and feel like, well, I got options anyway, I'm pretty anyway, so I
Right.
don't need you.
Right.
You have to have the type of mindset that's built like them. You got to get off your scarcity and you got to move on. And so once and this is true. Like I don't like to repeat stuff like from what you hear on YouTube, but seriously, like if they don't have an attachment to you, you really don't have much control over what they do. And if they leave, they're gonna just leave without a care. But if you're the type of person that's like, hey, look, whether if they care for me or not, I'm always gonna be the type of man that's gonna find someone better or focus on my own personal goals. So you don't have to even worry about them. You don't worry about them, let them leave. You know, eventually, hey, they may come back to you or they may not come back to you. But those nines, tens, or whatever, or however you call it, eights, nines, tens,
Yep.
like those are the type of women that will actually give you the most problems as opposed to a 7 and below. Now again,
Right.
I don't encourage men to like, just pick anyone that you don't really personally see a physical attraction for because we go off based off of looks, physical appeal.
Sure.
But you can still find those type of eights, nines, and tens. It's going to be rare, but you're going to find someone that's actually going to have a more pleasant attitude. It's just a little bit of searching and a little bit of talking. So,
Oh yeah.
and,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I mean, well, the thing about it is,
Mhm.
right? So, let me just go to
Yeah.
Backpack Grizzly's comment. So he says you must have an abundance mindset. I completely agree with that. I
Mhm.
completely agree with that wholeheartedly. Like you got to be, you cannot be afraid to lose. I think you was there like last month, or man, could have been 2 months ago. Yeah, it probably was about 2 months ago. I remember, I believe it was before my birthday, I think, where where the guy in Medellin, Colombia, he deleted his girl. That was 2 months ago, right? Because remember, I sent you the clip.
Yeah, yeah. And Miss Pie and I like we talked about that. So and that was wild, you know?
Yeah, that was wild. Yeah, I mean, because the thing is, right? So
Mhm.
he he had this um, fine woman DJ, right? So first of all, when you're a DJ, you're in the entertainment field, and I know this because I've been a promoter, host. I've booked local artists. I've booked major artists. I've done concerts. I've managed one of the biggest nightclubs in New York City. 3 different floors, like 3 big different floors. This is in the middle of Midtown Manhattan. Like people would go to this spot. Like, listen. Anyway, long story short, what I'm trying to get to is if you don't have that abundance mindset, you are definitely going to be taken advantage of. And you're gonna turn into a simp, and you're gonna do what that guy did.
Mhm.
And there's no woman in this world that you should be deleting her or deleting yourself. None of that. None of that, man.
And also to add on to like to give more context for the people who are listening, it wasn't like the man was an incel. It wasn't like he didn't have a girlfriend prior to it. The man had an entire family in the US. Okay. He had a wife, he had children. But, he fell in love with someone that wasn't really meant for him per se. And unfortunately, his scarcity and beta tendencies got to the best of him.
Right. And that's, yeah, yeah. I mean, she was very, very attractive. She was a DJ. And when you're in that field, you're gonna attract a lot of people. One,
Mhm.
there's not that many women DJs, and a woman DJ that's like very attractive as well. So it's like cool, you know how to play music, and if you're playing at clubs and stuff like that, what's gonna happen? People gonna go to the club. So now you got the locals coming there, and then you got expats who live there trying to get at you. So you got the locals, you got the expats, and then you also got the, you know, the you sprinkle in like the people that travel. So you got so many people that's trying to get at this woman. And I don't know about the whole incel fact, but what I will say is that you're right. Like this guy had another family, and I guess he was getting a divorce from his wife. He was with the wife. I don't know, but long story short, going to Backpack Grizzly again, he said you could never put them on a pedestal. He pedestalized this woman, and look what happened. Look what happened. And that is definitely not fair because you know her family lost someone, his family lost someone, and like it's just a domino effect, and it just really, really sucks, man. For real.
It does.
All right, let's continue.
I'm not into it. But even for I would also say even for a one night stand, most men would much rather, even for a one night stand, would much rather get with like this is a girl who's got like a low body count versus a girl who has a high body count, even for a one night stand.
And
that's just like guys tell me the opposite.
What do they tell you?
They
like
say
their preference.
Yeah, I mean
that's like such a preference thing because I know so many guys who do want girls with higher body counts
for
No,
experience.
come on.
For experience, yeah.
I've had guys
No,
tell me
no,
being
no.
like, I don't want no virgins around here. Like, give me a girl who like knows
For
what she's doing.
sure.
I've had so many guys
Yeah.
say that.
Okay. All right. So these guys, I know why they're saying that. You know why they're saying that they don't want any virgin? Because they know, because they want the access. A virgin is not going to be able to really give them the access. So they, you know, they want to dust it off and walk away. That's all. You want to get that walk off home run. You know that Facebook. You know what I mean? Walk off home run right there.
Exactly. It's a lot more easier than a woman, right? That will say, "Well, I'm a virgin," because you know they're gonna give you this same old dopey line, right? I am saving myself for the man I shall marry. Okay, and no one doesn't want to go through the whole marriage arrangement just to try to get a piece of ass. I'm just saying. So of course, and here's the thing, and maybe of course those guys that's telling these women this, they have experience with other women. A simp, right? Well, literally be like, well, okay, wow, like you're a virgin. Wow, I'm a virgin too. So we both match together. And they will literally wait until this woman gives her virginity off to Chad and Tyrone one of these days. And then they're gonna be feeling stuck and stupid and confused. You know?
Right. Yep. Yeah. Too funny, man. All right, so let's continue with this.
I think you live in an echo chamber, respectfully.
You think I live in an echo chamber?
Well, you're probably around your peers that are like that. Not,
yeah.
I mean, you're surrounding yourself with guys that obviously think the same way.
You think I'm in an echo chamber that men want women who are not sexually promiscuous? Oh, excuse me for my semantics. Echo chamber. You think I'm in an echo chamber because I think men don't want women who are promiscuous?
No, I'm just saying she's saying she knows men who are attracted to promiscuous women. I know men who are attracted to promiscuous women. And you're like over here shaking your head because you don't believe that could ever exist.
No. Okay. So a woman.
All right. So I'll let you go ahead and then yeah. So go ahead on this one because I definitely got a lot to say.
it probably very few for me, but of course, like the reason why he probably feel like okay, what he's saying is false is because of like we said before, um, a guy has his own motive to what he wants. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're thinking that guys don't really dang, what's that word I'm looking for? See what these women are thinking, they're thinking of something different. You know what I mean? They're thinking like a guy's way of thinking is the same way of how like a woman thinks. You know what I mean?
And it's completely right, and it's completely different because you remember when I said that there's a difference between attention and intention. That is the prime example of what these ladies are saying to this guy, because they're saying, oh, we know guys that like promiscuous women. No, you know guys who want to fuck promiscuous women. There are not guys who actually want to be in a relationship with promiscuous women. There's a big difference there. A big difference. And he's trying to tell them, but they're not seeing it because they think like, oh, well, these guys, yeah, he may like her, whatever. Johnny may hang out with Susie or whatever for like, a couple of months or whatever, and he knows that Susie will jump off, yeah, because he smashes Susie. Once he done smashing Susie, he on to Becky, he on to Linda, he on to whoever. You know what I mean? So, but that is not intention. That is attention. There is a big difference.
So I'll say this, right? Guys like hoes, okay? But however, guys don't love hoes.
Say that.
Okay? So I'll say this again. That's a new quote. We love hoes, okay? I messed up on that. We love
hoes. We don't love these hoes.
Yeah. I use the term like, like
I know what you like
y'all, but we just don't love y'all. And that's the thing that they don't understand. Because guys will like to sleep around with you, but that does not mean that they will ever love you enough to propose to you, to give you marriage, to give you a family. You know? We don't love you guys like that. And that's where they get confused, and that's why women has to be super promiscuous, because they think that, like I said, you said the attention, right? We have our intent, but they think the attention is going to bring us closer together with them. And unfortunately, nobody don't want to listen when correction is applied.
Right. No, absolutely. Yeah. I was just saying that there's a big difference between attention with an A and then intention with an I.
Exactly.
Shout out to Poolman313.
I'll definitely trademark that. Yeah.
Oh, you said I gotta trademark that?
Yeah, they said we got to trademark that saying, I guess. Either the attention versus the intention, or guys like hoes, but we don't love hoes. So either way.
Yeah. Absolutely. Shout out to Poolman313 in the building. All right, let's continue.
Can be physically attractive.
Okay, you don't have to explain this to me again. Like, you've explained this like 3 times. That, like,
I haven't explained it to you 3 times, but
okay.
Whoops, I didn't mean to press that. My bad.
But like you have explained in thorough detail that a woman could be a 6 and have way less bodies and not be promiscuous, and you would be more attracted to her than like a really hot woman who had a lot of bodies and was promiscuous.
Sure.
Yeah. So I understand that.
That's your like preference though. That's like your
and
type.
we're saying right, but we know men who prefer slutty women.
Yeah.
Whether it's for a relationship or not.
Or like don't care about that.
There are men who might find a woman who's promiscuous attractive. They might sleep with them, but you can't confuse sexual attraction for relationship attraction.
But we're not, because I'm saying I know men who know women.
He literally just said it right there. So, attraction for sex and then attraction for a relationship. Hold on, but I want him to continue. I want to continue this a little bit more.
Go ahead.
Like relationships wise, they want a woman who is very sexually experienced, and oftentimes that comes with a promiscuous.
Are they submissive
guys.
men?
No,
Probably not.
No, there's no guy that is. There's no guy. Well, I shouldn't say there's no guys. Generally speaking, men don't care about a woman's sexual experience. It's attractive
Okay.
when a woman has less sexual experience.
Really? So you want a girl who's bad in bed?
No. That's not the same thing.
But
Yeah.
like,
And also, as a man, if you know how to lead, which by the way, most women are attracted to guys who are dominant in the bedroom and know how to lead and know what they're doing. If you know what you're doing in the bedroom, you can take a girl who's a virgin and have fantastic sex with her. You can have great sex with her. Being inexperienced doesn't mean you're going to be bad in bed. So long as you're open-minded and enthusiastic, if you get with a guy who can lead you, he can teach you how to have great sex. Whereas most women don't want to teach a guy how to fuck them. Most women want guys who come pre-assembled. Women want men who just get it. Whereas men—
wow. Okay. What are your thoughts right there?
Yeah, he broke down a lot of key points, but let me start off with this one.
Yeah,
We
sure.
all start from somewhere, okay? So meaning that, look, I mean, everybody's going to have their first sexual encounter, okay? Whether if you get married and that's your first sexual encounter, or you get your first sexual encounter from someone who's already experienced. But as he said before, because they try to trap him, right? Do you really want to get with a 7 who is very whole and down, but yet sucks in the bedroom? Well, that comes into the leadership of your part, fellas. Or let's just say both of you guys are virgins, okay? As long as you could be willing to try, to work, to practice, to master being dominant in the bedroom, you will be okay. That does not mean that it's the end all be all. Like I said, we all start from somewhere. So when you first had your sexual encounter as a virgin, you didn't know what to do. You just knew some of the basics, and that was it. And then from that point, it was trial and error. But these women, and the one in okay, so you have the one in the pink and the one in the light pink, right?
Yeah.
So the one in light pink, right? She said something, and I felt like I caught a contradiction because she said somewhere down the line, where did I put in my notes? She was like I know what she was trying. She was trying to say like the men will pretty much will be willing to be in a relationship with a promiscuous woman, but I heard her someone down in the undertone. She says whether if it's relationships or not. And I think she knows a little bit that deep down inside that men are not going to really get with a promiscuous woman, but sometimes you have some of those people that they don't want to really face the truth because unfortunately we lied to them for so long and pumped their heads up, and this is like accountability for most men as well too.
That's true. That's
true. If you're lying to a woman, you know better than like the other women that's lying to them. Because I know like, men feel like it's okay to lie if you're just trying to get what you want, smash and dash. I get that part. But we can't complain that, well, these women, they keep lying to them. They keep telling them that's okay when we're telling them that it's okay. And we're telling them that, hey, I'm willing to be in a relationship with you, even if you have 5 kids, even if you still sleep around on the block every now and then. Because, once you get your little hit or whatever and you get tired, you're going to move on to someone else. So, but these they're just confused. That's all.
Well, that's true. That's true. And the men that do that, they don't like. So that I would call that low quality men because, like, if you know that you can pretty much get almost any woman that you want, you don't need to lie. You don't have to say anything to get in her good graces or whatever the case is. And and I'm gonna say a good portion of men do that. And it's like dude, you don't have to say like, oh, I'm gonna make you wifey, I'm gonna do this and do all that. And it's like, come on, bro. Like, you have no intention of, taking this woman
Exactly.
seriously. But just if you, man, you'd be surprised at like how many women you could keep it real and just be like, hey, listen, man, I'm just trying to chill and have fun. And like they'll be with it. They'll be with it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Nah. And when because here's the thing, like when that you got it, you don't have to sit up there and try to front and try to be with this woman and all that, man. Like it's not even worth it, man.
That's the best part, of course.
Absolutely. All right. So we a little over halfway through. All right. So let's continue.
Men, we will gladly teach a girl
But,
if
like,
we know what we're doing.
What if
Maybe
I'm like dating someone who's also a virgin? Like, I've talked to guys before who've been like, oh, look, like I do want a girl who's very experienced, knows what she's doing. Like, and for me, like I know that when I was with my ex, as time went on, as the more we had sex, I became more like better at what I was doing. I understand what I was doing. I wasn't as scared. I was like more confident. But that, like, from me to the very first time I had it is completely different.
Mhm.
I'm like a completely different person.
Where's
Okay.
the boyfriend know?
So I'm just trying to, I guess, better understand the objection. So you think that men want women who are sexually experienced?
No, I'm just saying some men do. And I'm saying for you, if you want women who aren't like sexually experienced, that's fine. That's your preference. That's what you want. But there are some men out there who don't want that.
Sure. Yeah. There's some men that don't care, but I would say generally speaking, most men, if given the option, even for a one-night stand, would prefer the girl with most guys would actually prefer like a virgin for a one-night stand.
That is a really bold generalized statement.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that bold. I don't think it's that bold. I think it's just true.
That's like a person. How dare you for speaking facts?
Right, exactly.
So the key word he says most men prefer. That doesn't mean that they will not, but they will prefer.
Oh yeah.
So I'll give you an example. If I'm having a one night stand with someone, right?
Yep.
With a woman, I will hope, that she's a virgin.
Right.
Probably just for the sake of my own comfortability. Okay, she hasn't been with a whole bunch of dudes. Like, I'll still get tested, but I ain't got to worry about if she had caught some type of disease. So I would prefer, if I'm going to sleep with somebody, let it just be like a virgin, or maybe a woman who hasn't slept with, who's not actively sexually active, And
a low
mhm.
body count, right?
Yeah, like a real low body count.
Yep, I got you.
They're just not understanding that. See, what they're looking at it as, like, this dude is just talking about he's just talking about, like, okay, I don't want to have sex with women that's inexperienced. He just don't want to have sex with someone who is high in their body count, and I don't think that's what they're not understanding that, because they keep making these references, but they're not understanding the true point of him saying this. If you just have a high body count, he don't want to be in a committed relationship with you.
Right. Absolutely. All right. So let's continue.
I would love to see
rare.
like a stat on that. To say most men would want a virgin.
Mm-hmm. Most men would want a virgin for.
Why?
Yeah, why would
I
they
just
want
want to
a
know
virgin?
Blondie, second to the right on the end. She is definitely combative as she's combative as F, bro.
Yeah.
She's combative. She ready for all the smoke.
Yo,
look at old girl in the hot pink, right? She knows what's up. She knows what's up. Like, you look at all of they. Okay, I'm glad I paused it here. So before we get into like what they're saying, look at all of their facial expressions, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
she's sucking her thumb in the second one.
I think she might be biting her nail or something like that. I don't know. Okay, but let's start. Okay, we're gonna go from right to left. We're gonna go from right to left, right? Okay. So the brunette, like she's combative. She's combative. Well, I don't know. I don't want to say combative, but she's she needs to be right. She's not combative. Look at the blonde hair one. Like look at her shoulders. Look at her shoulders. She ready for all the shit.
Yeah.
Then you got like the one with the red hair. She's kind of playing the fence. She's intrigued. But she don't want to break girl code. This one here, she's like, she knows what's up. Looks like she's starting to lose interest. The one in the hot pink, she like, oh snap, winter is here.
Reality is coming. You know. Yeah. That one.
Man.
That's like a girl.
You know, look, if you see their expressions, I mean, so what do you think from everything I just broke down from their expressions?
Well, one, I think this should have been a thumbnail. You should definitely screenshot this. But two,
I am.
Yeah. No, it makes sense, right? Because it's like, you know, the one from the far right, she doesn't look like she's a bad person, but you definitely can't tell her anything because she's the one that's asking the most questions. Like, well, you know, why can't we? Why you think this way, or why can't we be like this? Why gotta be that?
The brunette or the blonde?
The brunette.
Oh right?
Yeah. The one to the far left. Like, I mean, look, she knows what's coming.
Right.
Yeah. That one, the one next to her, right? The third blonde. Look, she's like, hey, I'm ready for you to say something that's so offensive. So then that way I could just me to you. I could just hit you with your misogyny. You know what I mean? How Fresh and Fit will call it. You know, she just like she looked like she just won't shut up. You know, just the way her eyes are closed, the mouth just keep opening.
Yep.
Yeah. Like I said, the one in the exact middle, like either
she don't want to break sisterhood or girl code. I think that's where she at with it.
Probably so. Either the sister code that she don't want to break, or she probably just don't really understand the full. She probably don't really understand the full conversation. She's probably a little bit confused. Just probably hoping kind of. You don't think so?
Nah, I think all of these ladies understand the conversation, but
okay,
yeah. I don't think anyone's confused here.
all right. I think that way. You know, she probably was waiting to chime into something, right? But like I said, like those are two blondes, like to the left or whatever.
Yeah,
they're already kind of tuned out. So that's why I'm looking at it.
Yeah, the blonde who got second to the last on the right, she ready for the smoke. That's what she ready for the smoke, man. All right, let's continue.
Like why does the body count matter?
For selfish reasons.
Like, would you want a virgin for like, because virginity for a lot of women it's a pretty big thing, you know.
But guys don't think. Guys wouldn't think that deep into it. When they hear virgin, they think of all the things that they can teach her. Like, but for what? How much teaching are you doing?
Pick me.
Yeah,
especially with a virgin.
I don't think it's about teaching them. I think it's some weird fascination.
I mean, like, I get it if you're like in a relationship.
Shaming.
With a girl, but
Shaming.
She's going jabs, man. I'm like,
I told you she's ready. She's ready for the smoke. The one that was next to one she was next to dude wearing a sweater. She knew exactly what was up. And then right there, she's like, "Oh, this is weird. Why is it weird? Why is it weird that we want to lead, that we want to teach?" I don't
she started by saying like you're selfish for selfish reasons. Like you basically calling the man selfish for expressing his true opinions and I mean stuff that is like factual for men. I mean, it's okay for them to tell you like, okay, what a woman truly thinks or how she feels, but a man is blatantly telling you, look, man, those guys that told you something different, they're lies. I know men. Men is going to tell you something that's going to benefit for men. So I think that blonde or whatever has been lied to so much, and reality hit her, and it hurts. So, and yeah, the other one is definitely a pick me, which I'm gonna put it like this: I don't trust pick me's. Okay, at one point, I don't, because here's the thing, right? Actually, I'm actually more alert when it comes to pick me girls. Because
That's interesting. Okay.
Because pick me girls has this special powerful effect that most men get trapped in, and that's the good girl effect. The good girl effect meaning that she has enough patience to not really show her cards. So anytime like when she may have an opinion about something, but if your opinion differentiates her opinion, she's gonna pretty much throw her opinion to the side, and then her opinion becomes what you like. Because see, those are the type of women that literally actually have the game because the goal is they want to get married. So they'll be subservient, they'll be submissive, okay, maybe on camera or whatever, until probably after when there's a lot more secure. Excuse me, the hiccups. Sorry, when there's a lot more financial security.
Okay,
because it takes years to kind of build up. First, you become engaged, then you become a wife. Now you have children. Okay, you're slowly breaking a man's guard down. Once you have the children and everything that is set to your will, I mean, what's more the incentive to be a pick me girl? You got everything that you want. You're secure. If the husband decides to leave you or divorce you, I mean, you're going to take pretty much half of his possessions anyway. Excuse me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you got to understand, and you know, I'm going to just flat say this. And, you know, even personally, like when we're dealing with different women, like bringing them on the show, like I said, some they come and they go. You know, we had our first pick me, you know, and I'm not saying like, hey, as you being a pick me, you know, you got to have that same attitude for all of us because we're not your man. But the thing is, once I realized that, you know, some of these pick me girls are really sneaky on the inside and they only do things for personal gain, then I'm like, look, my trust for pick me girls are not as open as it was before. Because now I'm hip to the game that most of you guys do this type of stuff because y'all absorb the knowledge from us, from the manosphere. You know what I mean? And so you take the manosphere game and then you twist it into your own leverage. So,
yeah, no, I feel you. Shout out to the food channel. You said drop the link. Well, I'm gonna be doing another live stream at probably like either like I was gonna do it at 10 Eastern, but I'm probably gonna do it like 10 or 10:30, maybe even 11. But for that one, yeah, because that's one is just gonna be me. But right now it's just M3 and we rocking out, man. So
salute.
You know, yeah, this is closed. But yeah, I feel what you're saying. So that's interesting. But you know what? You make a valid point though, because what you're saying is like you think that like they just playing the game until they get secure. And then once they're like fully secure, they could kind of switch up on you.
Yeah, and also keep in mind, like I hope I'm not talking and being long-winded, because if I'm talking a little bit too much, Kings of Dreams, you know, feel free to cut me off or whatever.
No, you good.
Yeah, but I want people whoever's still watching and listening in, I want people to learn this type of stuff, because the thing is, and let me bring it a little bit close to home, Kings of Dreams.
Sure, go ahead.
Because
man.
you are a traveling brother, right? So shout out to the passport movement. I'm talking about the real brothers, not the people that go around using women, but the ones that actually do love to travel and love to build relationships like Kings of Dreams. Sure. So I want to people up in this game because here's the thing, even though I'm not a passport brother myself, okay, but for most black men, right, that complains about, let's say, like the American, Western women, how they have so many demands. You also have to understand that you still have to put your guard up when you're traveling to other countries and learn different cultures, because some of them, just like the Americanized women, some of them are trained, to be good pygmies. Because when you're going out there of a zone that you're not really comfortable in no more, now you're in your comfort zone over a different territory, and you could be open to be used by anyone. So it happens all around the world. It's just not in America, but it's anywhere that you go. But you may find fewer people that actually play that pick me type of role. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta just put your guard up no matter what. So, and you could kind of differentiate, the difference between a woman that is actually true to herself, still has her opinion, but is still respectful, versus someone that's always going to be a yes woman.
Okay, now I think that there's a difference between a pick me and a yes woman. Now, if this is a woman that's just saying like yes all the time and not giving like any type of respectful and feminine pushback, then yes, that's a problem. But if she has like no opinion and she just acquiesces to every single thing that you say, and she has no questions, or like, I'm not saying that she has to have some pushback, but there should certainly be some dialogue. It's not like, okay, so we're gonna wear red all every night this week, or I'm sorry, not red. Sorry, we're gonna eat red meat every night this week or something like that. And she's like, okay, or we're gonna eat fish every night this week. We're gonna do, you know what I'm saying? So long story short, like basically whatever I'm saying, like she's just completely okay with that, like every single thing. Now that would raise a red flag. Now I would say that there's a difference between pick me's and yes women.
Okay. I would say like it depends like on a certain type of degree, because actually we do have a lot of yes men as well too, right? And
yes, we do. I mean, and I mean, look at the ladies around the table, like what they're saying. These guys are yes men because like we all know as men, especially because a lot of these guys that they're talking to are, they're young, that they're they probably haven't even been red pill yet, or they're probably in red pill rage or whatever the case is, so they're saying whatever they got to say to get that, to get that poom. Yeah, I don't care. She's a hoe, man. Man, she can hang out with me or whatever. I'm gonna be the best boyfriend, whatever. Man, listen, little Johnny is just trying to bust his nut. Let's keep it real. That's what he's trying to do at that point, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. Kings and Dreams. So it is a difference. Like, I just think like, for pick me women, they just know the right words to say to win a man over, and it don't always have to be yes, because they could actually switch up and be like, well, I do have an opinion to say, but at the same time, you women are the reason why these men don't choose any of us and blah, blah, blah. But like I said, they do certain things to pretty much bring attention and awareness in our minds to judge them as good women. And sometimes you just have to be careful. That's all.
I
Not
feel
all
you.
of them like that.
I feel you. All right, so let's catch up.
Like a one night stand, that's like totally something completely different. You're both there for an exchange of sex and nothing else. And like, why are you gonna go in with a girl who has no experience, maybe uncomfortable? I mean, it hurts for some people, and like, you're gonna go in there being like, oh, well, I want a virgin. Why? Like, why do you want?
Because men are attracted to sexual purity.
But isn't that kind of like sickening if you think about it?
How is that sickening?
Because it's romanticizing pedophilia. But they're not kids. They're not kids.
Hold on. We're talking about adult women. You can be sexually pure, and that can mean either not being promiscuous or
when
it
you
could be
think
a
of like
Pure
the
and
most
innocence
pure thing is you think of
you're
children,
conflating. Yo,
innocence.
we're talking about adult relationships.
Double team.
Yes, but it's still very common for men who are in adult
Right,
relationships
yes.
to look for stuff that remind them of pedophilia.
That's
Like,
absurd.
It's not absurd.
That
it's
is
just-
absurd.
See,
Nobody talk about.
well, see these two ladies at the end. See these two ladies at the end. What they try to do is they try to jump the guy because the pick me next to him is she's supporting his argument. They feel some type of way, and this is what we call moving the goalposts. Now he said a woman that's pure. Oh, now we're talking pedo, I don't want to say the rest of it, but that pedo nonsense. Like what? We were talking about consensual sex between two adults, man and woman. Nobody talked about anything pedo whatsoever. And they moved the goalposts.
This is another word that I call this, right, for these two women. They at that moment, right, they learned the power of trauma bonding. Okay, they're trauma bonding right now. Okay, so they're like, hey, I need look, I know women don't like each other, but look at that moment.
That's true. Women don't like each other.
They're like, look, hey, girl, right? We got to team up together, right? These other women over to the right, I don't know what the hell they're on. They might be like, La La Land, but we got to stick up. We got to team up against this guy because now he has a woman that is pretty much telling us how we should feel and how we should think. And they're already. Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm thinking about using this one for a thumbnail because look at the two at the end. Look at the two in the end. Look at them. Like look at their shoulders. They perked up. They're in an aggressive stance. The one in the red, she's still playing the middle. She just looking back because she like, I want to see what's going on here. The one, the blonde next to her, she's back engaged again. And then the one in the hot pink, she's like, "Oh my goodness, what is about to happen?" Yeah, this is the one I'm going to pick. This is the one I'm going to pick right here. I'm going to.
All right, yeah, because they're in unison, like with their arm, with their hands crossed.
Yeah, that's exactly. And look,
eyes locked in,
shoulders up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, we're going to get you now, right? And here's the thing, right? They do have an advantage over us, like when it comes to over talking and then talking at the same time, and they could listen. Whereas a man gonna be like, "Hey, can you pause? Can you slow down? Because I gotta try to get my thoughts together. Because now I'm trying to speak to you in logic as opposed to emotion." So what they're gonna try to do is they're gonna try to keep over talking his points, as you say, moving the goalposts to pretty much confuse and then silence him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. You know the tactic. Pool Man says, "Clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose." Friday Night Lights. Yeah, man. That was I like that movie, but I really, really like the TV show. I love that TV show. But no, but Pool Man 313 is right. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let's see.
Very hidden within like our culture and things.
That is ridiculous.
I agree with her.
It's very hidden. It comes with the stuff that's like, I want hairlessness. I want
hairless. A guy who has a preference for a girl who like is shaved or has shaved her legs is pedophilic.
No, because
that's
when you
crazy.
think down to it, it's like, where do you see people who have no hair? Like actually naturally. It's
so
kids.
What about a woman who prefers a guy who shaves? Down there,
like
couldn't that could just be
who say like, oh, I don't want like body hair.
That's
on a
way
woman.
more of an obvious preference that guys have towards women than women ever have towards guys.
I've never heard a girl.
I've never heard a guy say. I mean,
like
a girl say that.
Like, been like, oh, if a guy has hair, no way. But I've had guys.
I mean, and just talk.
Why do you guys have to like? It's so funny. Whenever men have preferences, standards, or boundaries, it's almost always met with this like vicious shaming. If a guy wants a girl who like shaves her legs, her pubic area, her armpits, that's pedophilia. Like that's crazy.
Sam made that as
Hold on, Jude. Hold on, this person, Jude Mason. Oh man, hold on.
One example.
Yeah, but I don't know if people in the chat can see the comment, but I'll read it. So Jude Mason left the super chat for them, not for us, but says, ladies, where are those men now? Men lie to you to only have sex. And then there's a picture of three emojis with women being pregnant. Shout out to Jude Mason. Please give that air horn for that.
I got you on that one.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
The brother knows, man. Like, same thing that we was talking about. Like, look, those men, they're not in your life. They're lying to you. It's a smash and dash type of situation.
Smash
But
and dash.
you're conflating it, and you're getting confused with, he loves me. He wants to be in a relationship with me. But when you talk to your other girlfriends or some of your male friends, all they're going to tell you is that, oh, something's wrong with him. Yes, they do love promiscuous women. They were just broken people with broken families and relationships. No, they just saw you as a tool that they could just slumber with and get going.
Right.
And those and my last point with those two, I noticed like they're hopping around right now. They completely switch up with the topic, talking about pubic hairs and all this other stuff.
Right.
That's totally irrelevant because at this point they're trying to move away from the actual goalpost. And the woman to the far right, the brunette one, anytime when that blonde is saying something, she's checking for confirmation so she could repeat, even if she don't believe that herself. They're both piggybacking from each other. And that's what I noticed. I was like, you don't even know shit.
Right.
You're just trying to be unified in unison as if you both are making sense.
Exactly.
I that.
Man, listen, those two on the right, that is the pure, that's the pure personification of what we call the sisterhood. And another reason why I picked this video specifically this video is because there are non-melanated women in here. So I don't want to hear, and we'll be watching this later, these guys are only talking about black women. No. This is EOS, equal opportunity smoke. I did this on purpose. There's a method to my madness here. I don't want to hear sisters talk about, he always talking about black women, blah, 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 blah. Nah, man, they all non-melanin in here.
And fun fact,
and the dude is white too. So let's not. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, bro.
Fun
heat up.
Fun fact, Kings of Dreams, right? I always say this on my shows, right? When I do talk about women, a lot of times, like when I talk about women, I don't single out just black women only.
Me too.
I talk about all women as I talk about all men.
Yep.
Now, because of the color of my skin, you're confusing me as if I'm talking about pro-black issues and as if I'm just talking about black men and black women. Yes, I mean I know that we all have to do better as a race, nationality, whatever you want to call us, but as a people, American people, like we're all going through our shit. So I'm calling out whites, I'm calling out Hispanics, I'm calling whoever I could call out. If you're not doing right, I'm going to call you out. If you're doing, and that's just what it is. But people they get confused as if like we're part of the space where if I do have a topic where I'm talking about women, it's always about black women. No, to be honest with you, I don't really have personal issues with black women. I may have issues. Actually, I really do have issues with these women, but it's just the majority of them is the ones that have bad attitudes.
Yeah,
it's an attitude thing, not a race thing or a nationality thing.
Right. And I don't know about the woman on the far right, the brunette. She may be Latina, but the blonde one, she's white. And look, you know what I mean? Like they both looking for a fight. All right, let's finish this up.
Well, of hidden things in what men like.
Obviously, there's other things like, well, you want a girl who's hygienic. Obviously, there's other.
There's hygiene.
What I'm saying is, there's many things that we have.
I mean, like, look at the porn industry. A stepfather fucks stepdaughter.
Like,
tell me that's not pedophilic.
Stepfather, that's more incestuous than it is pedophilic.
But it's like a daughter.
I think a
like,
better example for the porn would be like freshly 18,
yeah,
like blah blah
virgin,
blah.
blah blah, like first time gets broken in.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that.
Well, you're legally an adult at 18.
Yeah, but
you don't see how that verges on.
Like it's like you're waiting for her to turn 18.
We as a society have determined that there's a cutoff. That cutoff is at 18. At 18,
but you think like right at that day,
at
like
18,
her mindset changes. Like she's a completely new person just because she turned 18. Like obviously, no, it's gonna take time for a young girl or young man. I mean, boy, to change. Obviously, it takes years. Like I feel like your brain isn't fully developed till you're 25.
But
question.
Hold on. Okay, you go ahead.
But that girl, that freshly 18 girl, and I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make it fun. But she's in that bed with him making that video.
Obviously, the thing is, I'm not going to be like, hey, look, you can't do that. If a girl wants to fuck a guy when she's 18 who's 35 or like plus, and she wants to do that, good for her. Like that's what she wants to do. But I'm saying when majority of men are seeking out just girls who are 18 and freshly 18, it's like there's something wrong.
And
like,
when the status of virginity and being a virgin and being these words pure and innocent, that evokes childlike nature. And you can't tell me that there's not something like young about this whole virginity. I want her to have her virginity.
Okay. All right. So what are your final thoughts on that, man?
They really corrupted his whole perception of trying to find someone that's pure, that's closest to being pure. So all the guy, let me go back, right? All the guy was just pretty much trying to say is that he prefers a woman who's a virgin. He didn't say no, he didn't say nothing about age. He just said he wants a woman who's either a virgin or who has a low body count. Right. And they took it far left into conflating by saying that he wants young women that is like, like just turning 18, stripping her virginity away as if he's like some big time pervert. But then here's the other thing too. Let's just say the guy is 40 and he finds a woman who's 18. Okay. Marcus Houston, did the same thing or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Married like a woman who's like 18 or 19. She is within the legal age limit, you know? So she's already, so legally, you're not really doing anything wrong. But what about the 18-year-old woman who's marrying or in a relationship with a 50-year-old? And no one's talking about that. They're talking about the man, but what about the woman's heart? Why are you dating someone that's that old then if you have a problem with it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so let me just go back into what you were saying, right? Now, what you said in the beginning, the goalpost, man, the goalpost has moved because when he mentioned purity, he was talking about like not having a high body count to where it's like it's deemed unattractive. That's what he was talking about, right? Mm-hmm. So then the two ladies at the end, they switched it up and was talking about, oh, well, isn't that like childlike behavior? But I don't like, what are you talking about? That makes no sense. And what what you caught that, what they tried to do, and this is the pure example of moving the goalposts, because now they started talking about, prawn, so I don't want to say the P word and get dinged, but they started talking about prawn, they started talking about pedo stuff. No, what the basis of what he was trying to say is that a man prefers a woman who's a virgin or B has a low body count. That's most men. Now, if we just having fun times, sure, the guy's not going to really care. But he's talking about a relationship and or marriage. There is attention and intention. Two completely different things. Completely different.
My last opinion is this. They should actually be grateful for the information that he's trying to give them, because a woman's ultimate goal from a man is to be in a relationship. So
Yep.
he is giving her relationship advice, but because they don't like the narrative, they don't like what they're hearing, because reality comes along with the advice that's given. Now they want to change it, and
Right.
then you see why, you know, they're at a certain type of age, and yet you're having trouble finding committed relationships.
Right. Exactly. Exactly, man. Excellent point, man. So, my last question to you, watching this, and then, um, us going back and forth. Do you think that society has been lying to themselves, especially today's society, when it comes to equality?
Yeah, I said that like I thought I said that like in the beginning, but society has definitely deceived themselves, because we are society as a whole, and unfortunately, like, because of the deception that we put ourselves in, I don't know if there's any way of like snapping this stuff out. You know what I mean? Like we're stuck. We're stuck in a delusion, in a certain level of delusion, because we want things to come out in a certain type of way. We see things in the movies, we see the outcome of it, and we think that, well, the same will happen to us or for us. It's almost like blinded faith, but where's that faith going towards? You
Yep.
know, and how will you know well, it's like the old saying. They'll always say there's always someone for somebody. There's always somebody for someone.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it's never true, because you know why? Incels exist.
Yep.
Okay, and that's the reality of it. Okay, if there was always someone for someone, then there will be zero incels in the world. People
Mm.
will not pass away alone. People will not die single. Some
Yeah.
people never even had the experience to find someone that's compatible for them.
Right.
Some people been virgins for the whole entire life.
Oh Lord.
And to me, it's really sad. And I'm gonna just put it like this. Spoiler alert, there's really no hope in convincing society as a whole how to resensitize their thinking. The only thing that you could do as a man is to continue to educate those who are willing to listen. That's it.
Excuse me. I completely agree. I'm gonna keep you up there
Mm-hmm.
for the last question. Hold on. Let me give a couple of
Shout
actually.
outs to Mrs. M3 and Sweet Dreamers. Shout outs to you too. In fact, let me get the air horn,
Oh, that's Mrs. M3 right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Shout out Mrs. M3 in the building. Okay. And then we got Sweet Dreaming in the building. Says salute to Kings and M3. All right, brother. All right, so let me get you out of here with this last question. Would society be beneficial going back into more traditional roles?
I would say, to be honest with you, I wouldn't really know. Because either it would be a yes or it would be a no. Because the thing is,
Mm-hmm.
if we do go back in traditional roles,
Yep.
as far as like how we treat each other, then I'll be like, okay, yes, cool, whatever. But the reality of those roles, the reason why we had those traditions was because at the time men had a lot more leverage. We had a lot more power, and I don't think that women stuck around with us because of love. Well, stuck around with our ancestors out of love. he stuck around with them because they had no place to go. But once equal opportunity, well, so-called equal opportunities, where you had the jobs, okay, you had good careers, and women started to advance more, especially having more voting power and leverage. There was systems that was implemented, like like Section 8 Oakland House, public housing or whatever, um, and child support. You had all these things that pretty much benefited for the women, that to a point where it's designed for them to not need us. Oh, wait, hold on, hold on. Sorry. It was designed for them not to need us anymore. So because of that need, if we try to go back to those traditions, yeah, it will probably work, but would it cost the expense for a woman to not really fully be happy? And honestly, I wouldn't want nobody to be around with me just to tolerate with me. I wouldn't want to be, I would want someone to be around with me to celebrate with me. So, and we do live in a modern time where now these days it's like, okay, we do have to adapt, but that doesn't mean that the man could just be, a modern female type of man, and a woman need to be like a masculine type of woman. Like we could still implement some type of traditions where we could actually like get along and actually could do the things that we can in order to combat with societal's abnormalities, abnormalities, So
Gotcha. All right. So, what is next on the horizon for knowledge and relationships? Well, M3 and then knowledge and relationships, man.
well, for me personally, continue to excuse me, continue to promote more like for our channel on Rumble. Hopefully get into the monetization program, and YouTube will finally monetize the channel. So, it's a trial and error type of thing. And then also pretty much going forward with, our crew. I mean, look, we got a lot of stuff in fold that we can't really say, but the only thing we could do is to continue to like network and do what we do. Likewise, we just want to break out of the negative stigma of Black YouTubers, and we want to bring people together. So anyone that is down for the cause to really uplift our people and also make a positive change for all people, hey, if you're with us, join us. If this is not something that's like up your thing, then hey, by all means, you can watch this from a distance. And yes, like, and if you like, check out our channel, check out Knowledge Relationships. The link that's posted. Thank you, Kings and Dreams, for doing that. Like I said, you're not gonna just see me. You're gonna be seeing like different members of our team. Live stream performing. So check us out. We all have different personalities. We have ideas and a common purpose, and yeah, you won't be disappointed. I'll just say that.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. M3, I think I want to thank you for being on here. Definitely make sure that you subscribe to his channel. Also, his link for his channel is in the description. Also, his Instagram, and you can go to their channel and also check out that they have Rumble, Facebook. So make sure that y'all check them out. Check them out, man. Salute. Hey, man, definitely want to thank y'all for tuning in with me for part 1 of tonight's doubleheader. So I was supposed to do the live stream at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, but I do have something that I need to take care of. So I will actually be back at 11 Eastern Standard Time, which is 8 p.m. Pacific. So definitely check me out. I will be back in 2 hours. Salute to M3. Salute to everyone in the chat. You see the thumbnail behind me. I'm going to finally address this Pearly Thing situation. And I don't know if a lot of y'all going to like what I got to say, but you already know, man. I just say what it is, man. Salute. Thank y'all for watching. Stay purposeful, and I'm out. Peace.